Some homes feel peaceful, quiet, safe. For some people, this peace disappears when guests arrive. It is not dislike of people. It is not anger. It is tension. The body tightens. The mind stays alert. Rest disappears. While others enjoy hosting, these people feel invaded. Their space feels watched. Their rhythm feels broken. They smile. They are polite. But inside, they wait for the moment it ends. This reaction is often misunderstood, seen as rude, seen as cold. But beneath it, there is a clear psychology, one shaped by boundaries, control, and nervous system needs. This is the inner world of people who hate having guests. Home is not just a place. For some people, it is a feeling. It is where the body relaxes, where the mind slows down, where nothing is expected. When guests arrive, this feeling changes. The space feels different. Air feels heavier. Silence disappears. They notice small things, sounds, movements, eyes watching. Even kind guests create tension, not because they are bad, but because presence changes the rhythm. The body stays alert. Thoughts do not rest. Every action feels noticed. Simple things become effort. Sitting, walking, being quiet. Privacy disappears. These people do not hate others. They hate the loss of control. Their home no longer feels safe. It feels shared.
Time slows in the wrong way. They wait. They count minutes. Hosting feels like work, not connection. When guests leave, the relief is immediate. The body softens. The breath deepens. This reaction is not drama. It is regulation. For some minds, space is emotional safety. When space is broken, the system reacts. This is where the discomfort begins. The need for space often begins early, before it is understood. Some grew up without privacy. Doors were open. Boundaries were unclear. Their space was shared. Their time was interrupted. Their thoughts were not protected. They learned to stay alert, to listen, to adjust. Privacy was rare, so it became valuable. Others grew up in homes where guests meant stress. Noise increased, rules changed, tension filled the room. The body learned a pattern: guests equal pressure. Even when no harm happened, the nervous system remembers. There were also people who were watched closely, judged, corrected. Being observed felt unsafe, so privacy became safety. Silence became rest.
As adults, home is the first place they control fully. It is predictable, it is quiet, it is theirs. Guests break this order. The reaction is not about the present, it is about memory stored in the body. The past speaks through discomfort. The need for privacy is not extreme, it's learned. For some people, control is not about power, it is about calm. Knowing where things are matters. Knowing when sounds will happen matters. Knowing the space will stay the same matters. This control keeps the nervous system steady. When guests arrive, control disappears. Schedules change, noise appears without warning, movement becomes unpredictable. The body reacts immediately. Muscles tighten, breathing becomes shallow, the mind stays alert. This is not anxiety, it is protection. For these people, home is a controlled environment. It allows rest. It allows regulation. Guests change the environment. Even polite behavior feels effort. Smiling, talking, adjusting habits, nothing is natural. Safety comes from predictability. Guests remove predictability, so the system stays active. This is why hosting feels exhausting. Energy is spent maintaining control that no longer exists. When the space returns to normal, safety returns. The body relaxes. Control was never about others. It was about keeping the self calm. And guests interrupt that calm.
Many people feel pressure to welcome guests. It is seen as polite. It is seen as normal. So when someone dislikes hosting, they feel judged. Questions appear. Why not? Are you okay? Do you not like people? This creates guilt. They may host anyway, not from desire, but from obligation. They clean more than needed. They prepare more than needed. They worry about every detail. Hosting becomes stress. They monitor behavior. They manage silence. They stay alert. There is fear of being seen as rude, as unfriendly, as cold. So they push past discomfort, but the body keeps score. After guests leave, exhaustion arrives. Not emotional tiredness, but physical relief. This pressure teaches them to hide their truth. They smile while waiting for quiet. The dislike of guests grows stronger, not because of people, but because of expectation. Hosting becomes a performance, and performances drain. This pressure does not create connection, it creates distance. At some point, understanding arrives, not suddenly, but slowly. They notice a pattern. Hosting always costs them peace, no matter who visits, no matter how kind the guests are. The reaction stays the same. This brings clarity. They stop blaming themselves. They stop searching for reasons. They see the truth. Their nervous system needs protection.
Disliking guests is not cruelty. It is awareness. They realize something important. Comfort is not selfish. Wanting calm does not mean lacking care. This realization brings relief. They no longer force enjoyment. They no longer feel broken. They accept their limits. Home is allowed to stay private. Peace is allowed to matter. They begin to trust their own signals. The body knows what it needs. This realization is quiet. No announcement, no explanation, just permission. They are not wrong, they are different, and that difference deserves respect. Once the truth is accepted, choices begin to change. They become selective, not rejecting, but careful. Visits become shorter, less frequent, more predictable. They choose neutral places, cafes, walks, quiet spaces outside the home. Energy is preserved. They explain less. They apologize less. Boundaries form naturally. This does not reduce connection, it improves it. When visits happen by choice, not pressure, the body stays calmer. There is less resentment, less waiting, less exhaustion. Protecting space becomes self-respect. Home stays safe. Relationships stay possible. They learn something important. Closeness does not require access to private space. Care can exist without hosting. Peace becomes the priority, not control, not distance, but balance. The home remains a place of rest, and that rest protects everything else. Home holds more than furniture. For some people, it holds safety. It is where the nervous system rests, where masks fall away, where nothing is demanded. This is why guests feel heavy. They change the emotional climate. The home stops being shelter and becomes stage. When home stays private, the self stays regulated. Calm returns easily. Energy restores. This psychology is not about dislike of people. It is about care for the inner system. Some people regulate through quiet, through control, through solitude. Home provides that. When this need is honored, life feels manageable. When it is ignored, stress grows quietly. So the home remains closed, not from fear, but from wisdom. It protects peace. It protects balance. For these people, home is not social space. It is emotional shelter. And that shelter matters.